All right, so what we're going to do is build that. So we're going to build a CLI that basically will generate the boilerplate that we need. So we're going to take this stuff. Good evening, how are you guys? So I actually don't even know how to go about doing this. So we're just going to look up CLI custom boilerplate. I know there's a couple different libraries out there that we can use for JavaScript CLI, but I kind of want to follow something. Your audio is about half of your YouTube vids. Interesting, so maybe I should push it up even higher than it is now. Let's go like 300. If it's as half, let's do like 325. I have to crank it to 10 here on Twitch. All right, this. I think this should be better. I think this is a nice in between. Yeah, this might be a little bit quieter than my usual YouTube. Usually when on YouTube, what I'll do is I'll actually go through afterward and put it through Audacity and I'll amplify it. So that's why it's super loud now. All right, so let's follow this thing. Oh, I haven't even heard of this library. I was planning on using, there's two libraries that people recommended for building CLIs. So this looks less popular. There's also Commander. This one's quite popular, and then there's Inquirer. I didn't spell that right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I spelled that very wrong. So it looks like Commander is the most popular. Let's see what the CLI difference is. So prompt and then answers. This seems easy enough to do. Let's try Commander. Seems to be most popular. So I'm actually going to create a new repo here where this is going to where the CLI is going to go. So I don't know, what do I want to call this? Like something boilerplate. I'll just call it monorepo boilerplate. And we're going to get init. And we're going to open this in VS Code. And we'll close. We're going to need Code Ponder, but I think I'll just access it from GitHub. We'll initialize the project and let's do initialize it with all the flags. And this is going to be a TypeScript project in itself, so let's add a few things we're going to need for that. So TypeScript, and do I want to install anything else? I don't think so. So I'm going to initialize my TypeScript tsconfig by running that command. Didn't give me a whole lot. I think I'm just going to copy and paste it from not Code Ponder, one of my other ones. Let's do this one. And I want to do basically server code, so I'm going to grab the tsconfig from that. And so this is one reason why I want to set up the boilerplate, is to avoid this whole copy and pasting of tsconfig files as well. And let's go ahead and create a source folder and index.ts. We're also going to need tsnode, and I don't think we're going to need node daemon, so we won't worry about that. We may need to add it later. And I need to get ignore. And let's ignore node modules. All right. We don't care about these things. Going to dist is fine. And I actually need to make this into an npm package too, if this is going to be a CLI that I install. All right, so we're not going to worry about that. We're going to use commander. And let's go ahead and add this. So yarn add commander. And to know whether we need to add the types for it, I usually just look at, see if there's a .d.ts file. There's also a TypeScript search that I sometimes use. So we're not going to need to install that. So install program, we may need to import it like that. Yep. Okay, so I guess this is the version of our CLI. Let's try running it. So you order pizza with marble cheese. All right, so I guess what I can do is add flags on top of this. Yeah, you order pizza with these. All right, so I guess those are just the flags that I add on. And where does it execute it? I see it just executing it after the program is called. So this is a nice one that I saw the other day. So this has these nice little loading thingy bobbers. Maybe I should integrate this. Now I don't know if this like works with Commander, or if I need to do something extra. Let's see if we can find one that's using Commander. We don't want to do a boilerplate for that. You go through tasks instead of console logging in Commander would be my guess. Yeah, that's probably right. Yes, this is what we want. Okay, this guy's using inquirer instead of commander. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go ahead and follow this one. All right, so let's check. Okay, so this is a monorepo itself. I don't see any TypeScript types. So usually what I'll do is I'll just search. Yep, so it exists. Oops. And I'm just going to convert this to TypeScript real quick, or at least get rid of the requires. I'm guessing the input's a string. Yeah, I'm actually pretty bad at spelling. No such directory, templates. All right, so it's reading the current directory and looking for templates. All right, let's see what happens if we do that. No templates in there. So it's actually looking for source. I want to move my templates outside of source because I don't really consider the templates to be source. And I'm importing path because I want to go up a directory. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say path.join. And we basically want to go up a directory. What do I want to use? I've seen this done before. Is it path.join? Let's see if I'm using path in one of my projects. Would I be using this here? No. I guess we can just do that. It's kind of a weird operation. But everything is a template string. Yeah. I think I can just do it inside the template string. I don't think I need to path. All right, so the directory exists now. And now it's saying which project template would you like to generate. So now, so choices is what it gets there. Okay. So let's add a folder. I'll call it A. I'll call this B. Yeah, path.join is good if you like want it to work on Windows too. Which I guess is the case here. I do want it to work on Windows. So maybe I want it to handle these slashes. Okay, so the text I add there shows up here, project name, something. So here they're just validating the input of what I typed. And okay, so it's not doing anything yet. This is just the start. Let's keep following along. To make a new directory, copy the templates files. Is this a new, or is this just below? This looks like it's below. So what I'm thinking is, what if I want to make it, no, we're just going to keep this really simple. So I'm just going to make a single template right here called monorepo. No, I'm going to call it, so there's three things that makes this monorepo unique. We're using Next.js with this one, and we're using type GraphQL is what I'm going to set up. Is that what I want to call it? I think I actually want the CLI to work differently. So I think how I want the CLI to work is I can pick my front end, I can pick my back end, and then it combines them together into a monorepo. And then this particular one, I'm also going to add a third one that we're going to add a UI library, which I'm trying to decide if I want to use like Storybook or something else for it. So let's just follow along with this tutorial, and then we're going to modify how it works. All right, so we're changing this prompt. All right, so we're asking them the questions, then we're grabbing the answers, which I believe should be an array of strings. Yeah, exactly. I want to split it up. Oh, it's an odd. Oh, right. They're accessing it like that. So this is a, I'm just going to say any because we don't really know. I mean, we know because it's, the keys are right here. So actually what we can do is we can say key of questions. And maybe we need to add type of. It must be a string or a number. Actually, we can't do this. I was thinking this was a giant object, but it's not. Okay, yeah, we're just going to say any. So then we're just calling this function. All right, let's run this, see what it does. And let's put a files in here as well. All right, so I was looking for current directory. We need to go up one. Hey, what's up? I'm doing good. How are you guys? So what line is this getting wrecked on? I'm currently working on making a CLI to act as, to create a custom boilerplate. So basically, I want to remake Code Ponder, and I'm setting it up. I have to set up basically the project again. And so instead of doing that, like just writing it out, I'm going to build a CLI that I can just say, I want to use Next.js and I want to use Node.js on the server, and it sets up the whole project for me. But right now, we have a wrong path. So let's just read where this is going wrong. All right, so here we're making a directory in the current directory. So in this case, I'm currently in this boilerplate, so it would make it there, okay? Mic volume still quiet, okay. Let's go up to 400, guys. Is that better? So we get the response of what they chose. Yeah, I already have it super boosted. I'm using a new mic this time, which I think is a lot quieter though. Okay, cool. So current directory templates, we get the basically the path to the template that we want to choose. It's a good thing there's no background noise. Yeah, I mean these mics also are pretty good at not picking that up. So it looks like basically what it's doing is it just grabs the template file and it copies to the new project file. And I think what's going wrong is probably this right directory. So it's actually writing the folders. I can see the two folder names there. No such file or directory. So it's looking for source templates A again. Did I console log anything? No. So it's making the directory, and then I think it's looking for this template path, which is this, which I think we just want to add that. I thought I added that though once. All right, there we go. And now we can see something, which is what I put for A. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted it to do. So let's see if the tutorial does anything else. Recursively call for any nested subdirectories. All right, yep, we need that. We're definitely going to have a lot of subdirectories. Globally installing. I'm not sure what that's about. All right, so let's do our custom configuration to this now, and then we can publish it to npm. So basically the custom configuration is I'm going to have a couple templates here. So I'm going to have a template which I'm going to call Next.js. This would be a cool thing to make for myself as soon as I have more stack options. Yes. And honestly, I'm just going to use this for a single stack right now as well. But I want to set it up this way to scale it as I would do basically more options. So we're going to have a server. Do I want to just call it server? I guess let's call it TS server. Actually, so in my templates, I need to do a subdirectory. So here we're going to pick front end, back end, and then maybe we have extras. So for our server, is there anything else that makes it unique besides TypeScript? I guess let's make this one also, let's make this a type GraphQL one. And for extras, we're going to pick, what is the alternative to Storybook? Is it Docs? Let's see how many stars these have. Is style guide just the way to go? All right, this one's pretty popular. Doesn't show any examples in the README. Let's see how many stars this has. 6K. 11. So this one's the most popular. Spectrum seems pretty similar to structure as Code Ponder. Yeah, Spectrum is pretty sweet. It's going to be kind of similar-ish, but we're going to be... Yeah, actually, it's going to be kind of similar-ish. Yeah, I did hear they just got bought. That's super cool. That came out of like left field for me. I had no idea that was going to happen. I was super surprised when I saw it, but that's super cool that they did. Kind of thinking of trying this one out. It's the most popular one besides Storybook. I like that they have TypeScript support. It looks pretty nice. Well, I mean, I don't know if it looks nice. I'm just saying their landing page looks nice. Yeah, I use Spectrum a little bit. It's pretty nice. Was it DocZ? I already forgot the name of it. So we have DocZ, Docsaurus, and React Style Guide. Oh, is that reopen a tab? All right, so then what I want this to do, so this is going to be next.txt. I should give this another one name. All right, so that's the content of it. Is TypeScript really good? It is extremely good. If you're not using it, you should be. So we need to rework this a little bit. So we're going to redirectory of the templates. Let's do it like so. So this is going to be front-end choices. I'm using Flow. Maybe I'll switch. Yeah, definitely switch. You're going to like TypeScript a lot better. So we're going to say templates / front end. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was using Python for so long and was like really liking that it had nothing to do with types, but then once I did TypeScript, I'm like, I'm back on board the static typing. All right, so this is the choices that we have for our front end, back end, and any extra repos. So, all right, so we're gonna ask them a few questions. So let's start with the front end. So this is going to be a list of things that they can choose from. So front end choices. So we're gonna ask them, so this is gonna be front end choice. Are you deleting a word at the end via CY? Sound like you're only pressing one button, so I was wondering. So yes, so when I delete a word here, I can either do DW and I stay in command mode, or I can say CW and it now puts me in insert mode and deletes the word. And then, by the way, I can push U to undo and Control R to redo, and we can go back and forth like that. I'm kind of failing to see the benefits of TypeScript. It looks like a lot of work. It's a little bit of extra work, but you get super nice auto completion, and then if your project grows at all, it gets insanely powerful. And then try doing any type of refactoring in JavaScript. It's usually a nightmare. You know, I haven't actually tried C# that much. I think I used it maybe once. I only have experience with Java with that sort of thing. So what front end? All right, then we'll ask for the back end. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've heard as well. C# is kind of like a Microsoft Java. It's basically the same thing. Yeah, that's basically, I started with Flow. Do you have any recommendations to watch? Are you talking about for learning Vim? If you go to Vim Tutor, let's see if it shows up here. It actually will walk you through, like, so I'm currently in Vim, and it's kind of just has a tutorial that walks you through learning Vim. And so this is what I did to start. And that's pretty much how I learned Vim, and it's a decent way to learn it, I think. There may be some better ways to learn right now, but that's pretty much what I used. And yeah, TypeScript integrates way better with VS Code than Flow. And that's basically one reason why I didn't like Flow. It's kind of awkward. Oh, I mean, it's TypeScript an existing React project. Oh, pretty much every single React project that I do now is using TypeScript. So if you look at any of the repos or any of the videos I have, it's pretty much using that. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that I don't know. I don't know if you should learn TypeScript or with React, or you should learn after. I definitely learned React and then learned TypeScript. And TypeScript was a little weird trying to integrate it with React at first, but it was pretty nice after that. Do you use HJKL or arrow keys? I use HJKL. It's way better. You can just hop around way faster using those, rather than like my fingers are all the way in the arrow keys. If I use those, you're like all around the other commands. I don't know if WASD would be any. The problem with mining it to WASD is you would lose the WASD commands, which are all really good commands in Vim. So you'd have to like rebind them to something else. Yeah, TypeScript is also getting super popular. So I want to make this, instead of a list option, the extra choices, you can pick as many as you want. VS Code versus Vim. What I do is I just use Vim and VS Code. VS Code has way better syntax highlighting and just like works so much better. Here we go. And works so much better. I think we want the checkbox, I'm guessing. Yeah, it just works so much better with React and everything, and the auto completion and VS Code, that I just use the Vim plugin in it. Dang, 3 million downloads a week, that's a lot. I think Flow, the last time I saw a number, was like 400,000 maybe. Maybe I'm off though. Not on my board. I switch caps to a function key, then caps as an arrow keys, literally. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Flow dropped a little bit last time I checked. Yeah, I think TypeScript is winning the battle versus Flow right now. Checkbox. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So any extra packages, we could just leave it blank if we want to. And let's just console log answers and see what the shape of it is. Actually, inquirer is pretty easy to use. What are your thoughts with reason ML? Right now, I feel like TypeScript's just the better choice. Any extra packages? Yes, you. Oh, looks like it got auto-moderated. I guess I added Nightbot and I didn't check what the default timeout is. Or not timeout, I guess you posted too many links, I guess it said. Hope you're gonna stop posting links, warning. Does it let you post any links, or was that after you posted just one link? I can probably turn that off. I'll turn it off for the next stream. I don't need it that strict. Yeah, I think that's probably just the default Nightbot behavior. I'll have to turn that off after this. All right, so then I get an array of what they chose. Perfect. So we're gonna destructure you. Ah, that's awkward. No, it's not. We'll just rename it here. Yeah, it probably is a regular expression. All right. So what I want to do, I'm going to take my headphones off. I'm just going to move this logic into here, I think. Are you streaming this as well on YouTube? I'm not. I'm just on Twitch right now, and then I'm going to upload it to YouTube afterwards. All right. I don't want you. All right, so we're going to make a directory, which is the project name. So that is the project name question. All right, so this is, we're going to make a directory, which is just the project they chose. And then we basically need to, okay, so they're reading the files that we need to create. I feel like they made this difficult on themselves for no reason, implementing this themselves. I feel like we could use some kind of glob copy library and make this easy on ourselves. I feel like I want to get a job with React/Redux first, since those are the most popular things around here, and then I'll expand to GraphQL, Apollo, TypeScript, and stuff. Yeah, you'll probably be using one of those things when you find your React Redux job. Maybe if they're using Redux, they don't use Apollo though. Hey, what's up, dude? Let's look up, see if there's an easier one. So node copy entire directory. I guess that's just what this guy's doing. Yeah, let's just use a module for this. This is asynchronous. Can we make, this is using .then, but I can make this async. I don't see why not. let's go ahead and install this. If you can be that picky, then that'd be great. If you're newer, I would recommend getting your foot in the door somewhere and learning. Yeah. I feel like the demand for GraphQL and TypeScript is also growing, but there's probably a ton more just like strictly React where you're writing JavaScript, but hard to say. It's probably worth just seeing what the market is like. So we're just gonna replace that code basically with this copy. Oh, this is a CLI as well. But we don't care about the CLI version. So they're requiring it, and then they call .ncb. What webcam are you using? This is a Logitech. I think it's like one of the most popular Logitech ones. Yeah, this thing. Logitech 922C Pro. Source destination function. So this is asynchronous. Will it return a promise? Let's see. Could not find a declaration file. Okay, because I installed it incorrectly. I haven't tested that. It is pretty, I think it is fast. I would imagine it's faster TypeScript though, because it just has to do less. Like it knows exactly, like with JavaScript, I'm guessing like there's more inference they have to do or something. Oh, what's up, Vlad? So do you know design stuff and you want to do React stuff? All right, so then I'm going to, so once I make this directory, this is going to be our destination. Where are you at with learning React right now? We're gonna do oh, and this is the actual function. All right, let's just go ahead and import that then like this. Oops. Save us from typing that every time. And you return a promise. You do not. You're gonna do a callback for me. Let's promisify this. fs.promisify. Actually, can I promisify this? I don't think I'll be able to do it easily. I think I should just use this. You got into React Native. You know, React Native is kind of annoying to debug stuff. I find it way easier to debug just React stuff than when I'm working with React Native. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait. Actually, I can just promisify it myself. So that's an error. If there's an error, we'll reject it. Otherwise, we'll just resolve nothing. I'm just going to call this copy to make it easy. Yeah, that's usually what I end up doing is I use the that React debug, and the Chrome is decent. Sometimes you get just like really weird errors though. Alright, so I made that copy function, and now I want to just copy the files over into this destination. So source, and then we have our destination here. So we're gonna do three of them. I see your videos on 2x, so it's weird for me to see in regular speed. Yeah, this is me slow-mo. Alright, so we're copying this. What do we want to copy? The front end, the back end, and the extra. So we're gonna go to, I think I want to make a root, because all of these I'm doing / templates. So I'm gonna say const root template folder. When you talk to people. Alright, and then we can use this all over the place. So alright, so our template folder, and then we're gonna go into the, I guess let's start with the back end. Nope, let's just do front end, why not? We'll follow the same order we did there, and then we'll get the front end choice, and then we'll copy over the back end choice, and then we're gonna have to loop over. So we're gonna say extra.choices.for each. Actually, we're gonna map over it, so we return an array of promises, and then we can await them all. So that's going to be a folder name, and I think it's going to follow the same convention, so we can use this. That way we are now going to just wait for them all to be done. And let's test this out. I want Next.js, type GraphQL, and this doc. All right, so it created the something, and we have Bob, next, and thing inside of it. All right, so basically that's good, but now we want also, like, I don't want just the inside of type GraphQL, I want it itself. And so I'm going to give them names, actually. I want to rename them. So the docs is going to be called UI. So I'm going to create a mapping right here. So for docs, this is going to be called UI. So now, all right, so let's make a directory. It's going to be the destination, and then we're just going to add a folder. So I'm going to do / front end, back end, and all that. Except I'm going to rename it to the names that I like. So I'm going to call it server. Web is going to be the website, and then UI is going to be the doc. All right. That's fine. Let's actually fix it here. I think, can I not add that? Implicitly has any type, has no index string. All right, let's add the index string then. Actually, no, we'll do it like this. So this is going to be a key of extra name mapping. All right, so now let's recreate this. It's probably better if I don't work on React with you since you're using TypeScript a lot, but I'm still open to mockups, logos, CS stuff. Sweet. That works for me. Let's do doc. Did I name it the same thing? What did I call it? Okay, I haven't named it yet. Okay, now there's nothing inside of it. So, well, there is, but it's there. Okay. So the destination needs to include that. Const, this is going to be server destination. I have a question with TypeScript. If I have a big project from an API response, so I need to create a type for that. I think it's helpful to, and that's where you have tools that automatically generate it for you. Like with Apollo, you can generate if you're using GraphQL, you can generate the exact response. And I don't think it's maybe more difficult if you're not using Node or TypeScript for your server, but you may be able to set something up where you're generating the types from TypeScript. Yep, Apollo can do that. Check out, so there's a few packages. There's this Apollo CLI, or they call it Apollo tooling now. Basically, you'll use the code gen. Here's another one. Here's the code generator. So I guess here's our schema. Here are our queries, and it will generate the TypeScript types from that. So and that's what I use. So I get type definitions for that stuff. Okay, so let's kill this stuff. Okay, it looks like maybe I don't have to make the directory then. Let's get rid of the make directories. It looks like it's tried to create something that already existed. Oops, let's not get rid of source. Let's not delete our code. Let's do initial commit real quick. Where is Bob? Templates. Oh, that's on my templates. You know what? That's fine. Actually, let's ignore the templates real quick. Initial commit. The other day I played with Apollo Link persistent queries, yet more exciting efficiencies with Apollo. Yeah, that's a pretty sweet one. I haven't set that up recently. I need to, but that's a really nice one to lock down your API. What about sharing types from server side? Maybe create an interface, influence it in an entity type form. We'll also in the front end part. Yeah, that's usually when I set up like a common directory that I'll share. Like I'll have like, I don't think I use it really for the type form entity types, but I use it for like other things that I want to share types between the front end and back end. I'll have a common directory for my monorepo and I'll put the types in there that I share. All right, let's run this again. All right, so we have our outer one, we have our server, and then we have a UI. Yep, I just named that incorrectly. I was like, why did we have a server and a UI but not that? All right, that's good. So now pretty much the last thing that I need to do is just fill this in with the content that I want. The CLI is working the way I want, so now it just needs to have the correct templates. I think I know enough to get a job with React, but I don't have any project to show off, and I'm still a student. Do you have any project or anything to put on your resume? I'd like to do front end first, even though I know back end as well. Good front end projects. I mean, the standard projects that you can do to get good with React is, I usually start with like a to-do list, and then like a Hacker News clone, and then kind of just go from there. I think it depends. Do you want to do like specifically front end, or do you want to do like full stack, or you want to focus on being a front end engineer? So we'll kill these, kill that as well. Yeah, or you could do DevOps. All right, so I guess I want to implement my templates. I also want to implement the monorepo. Let me go over to Code Ponder and just see what I put on the outer scope of the monorepo. I'm going to put that in. Okay, so when we create this, we're going to have to put this in destination. It's going to be the package name and then /packages. Will this create, let's see if it'll create multiple directories at once. I bet it will. I don't see why not. No, it doesn't. You know what? I don't feel like adding like, so like I think there's a package that you can do to have makedir do multiple directories at once, but I don't really feel like adding that. It's gonna be easier just to add a line of code real quick. The other thing with building stuff for your portfolio, I always like just building stuff that I use day to day. So building like a website that helps you automate some kind of task is always nice. Nice. So the other stuff that we need to add to that is kind of like learn package.json, that stuff. And JSON to TypeScript. Yeah, I can definitely see there being something like that auto creates that for you. Yeah, exactly. Pick something that's going to help you that you enjoy, and you'll work on it more. I don't think we want to put the orm config in the root directory. No, I think we do. If we're doing type orm, we're going to need to. So how do I add all these root directory things? I guess let's just create we'll call it templates. It's going to be the root. Yeah, you definitely don't want to just manually type the REST API responses, or really any response. Been thinking about how to build a Next.js Prisma monorepo the last few days. So far I have 3 subfolders: front end, database, backend. Front end, backend have package.json. That's about as far as I got. Yeah, so what do you put inside your database like package? Is that really just going to be the data model? Do you put anything else in there? And all right, yep, let's put stuff in the root. So things I care about. Let's just copy everything. So I'm going to copy nope, up too much. All right, so I don't care about caddy or any of this Docker stuff. What's the difference between Prisma and Apollo? Apollo is for, we can use Apollo for a lot of stuff. Apollo has a server, so you can create your server with that. And Apollo you can use to make requests to your GraphQL server. And Prisma is basically, a GraphQL ORM. So it helps you access, create your database and access your database with stuff. You can actually use Prisma and Apollo in conjunction with each other. They complement each other. If I'm doing a front-only project, I'm limited to public API, so I'd like to find one that has auth as well, so I can create a login such other forms, since that's always. Or you could do something where like the backend is like created for you very quickly, like AppSync or Firebase, or something where they create the entire backend for you, and then you can just focus on the front end. So maybe reason to use Prisma over Typeform. They seem to serve the same purpose. Prisma, a good reason to use it over Typeform is it basically works better with GraphQL, and also it just auto generates a lot of stuff for you. So you're going to get CRUD operations automatically done for you, pagination. It's also going to handle relationships for you. So if you have nested relations, it's going to add data loader and handle optimizing that for you. So it takes a lot of things, it handles a lot of things that you don't have to handle. So like in Typeform, I have to handle a lot of that stuff myself. Yeah, exactly. Prisma is going to orchestrate basically what you do with your DB. Okay. So Lerna, perfect. Orm config, I'm cool with starting this. And then here, the database name, we'll just keep that for now. And we'll call it example. And we can always come back and fix this later. Build server. really these templates, it would be nice to go in and replace it like what I named this, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. We have a GraphQL resolution here. I'm cool with that. Do I need a yarn lock in the root directory? I don't think I want to add that to my template. Isn't Prisma yet another level of abstraction? Yeah, it is. Some people don't want that, but it's quicker to develop. Yeah, basically, and there's some stuff that are like they don't support right now with all the databases. So it depends on what you want to do. If I'm going to pitch TypeScript to my team, what should I say the benefits are? They're not trying to be with strong type language versus language. Yeah, that's basically what it is. If you look up, there's a ton of articles that have good bullet points that you can basically tell your team when you're building a web app that is dependent to some external third-party API endpoint, and you can build the whole app with only front-end Ajax. All this is good practice to build an additional backend layer for handling these API endpoints and giving its own endpoints. I would say really the only reason to do that is if you need to do like some middle logic for some reason, or you want to do caching for some reason, then I would consider doing that. But if you just want to directly talk to the third-party endpoint, then I would just talk to the third-party endpoint. But if the third-party endpoint has like API keys and stuff that you want to restrict, then it makes sense to set up an API. Yeah, I mean, just like the things about TypeScript is you're going to get auto-completion in VS Code. You're going to be able to refactor things easier, and you're going to be able to catch errors as you're typing them versus running your project. Yeah, and I don't know, it feels faster for me. And like it's nice to know what I can pass into functions. It's also really nice for me to just like hover over stuff and like, so like I can just go on inquire right here and I can see all the things that I can call, and I can also see what they return and what they expect as parameters. So the other nice thing about TypeScript is I read less documentation. That's true. Not everyone is using VS Code. If you're using TypeScript, though, highly recommend switching to VS Code. Yep, I would say less projects, or less bugs, I mean, and you just have like, you can code it faster, more correctly. All right, so we have these three things in a root, and I feel like I probably copied over some hidden files that I wasn't paying attention about. Nope. Is this the only thing I want in my root, is these three things? Yeah, we can always test this and see if I want anything else later. All right, so we have this. I want to copy over the root into this folder. So we're going to go into the template folder, /root, and what are we going to copy over? We're going to just go into, I guess, destination. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to go into the root dest. So we can put it here. View is written in TypeScript. I actually don't know. Oh, it is now. I remember was that with the 3.0 release? I remember that was a big one. Are you still attached to Learn? Is there any use case apart from form validation? The thing that I like about Lerna is, I think I got rid of it, but I have it over here. Being able to run commands like this, so like I can pick different, like I'm picking my common and my server package, and I'm building them. So I like being able to do that, be able to like run commands, scripts across multiple. Yeah, Flow does feel like it's losing the battle. I'm thinking we may want in our extras like a common. Here I'm going to just keep the default name if I like it. Silly question, Ben. Is streaming with Twitch much better than YouTube? I mean, does Twitch pay streamers than YouTube? I don't think I'm not sure how you make money with streaming on YouTube. I don't know the comparison. I think I think they have like super chats, and I'm not sure if they have ads on YouTube when streaming. I haven't really compared it. All I know is like Twitch is the more popular choice to stream, and so I'm using that. Hey, what's up, dude? Competition makes better products. Yeah, exactly. How are you doing, eQuimper? Good to see you. I'm just gonna say common.txt here. Yeah, that was the other thing. I think the discoverability on Twitch is slightly better, but I'll tell you what, I have more of a following on YouTube's, and I think it notifies all your subscribers. So I may do better if I did YouTube, but I think Twitch is the way to go when you're streaming, right? At least right now, it seems to be the better choice. Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, that's the other thing is there's not really a good programming category on Twitch though. I'm doing good. Is dual casting like allowed? I know there's like the restreaming thing. Isn't that against like the terms and policies of YouTube and Twitch? But uploading more content in YouTube pay better than streaming in Twitch? Um, I haven't compared it. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna upload this video after I'm done though to YouTube, so it'll be there. Yeah, sorry about that. I need to turn off Nightbot strictness. It kills anyone who posts a link right now. Yeah, I've seen Restream is I want to say I thought that was like against the terms and policies. That's one reason I didn't even bother. All right, so I'm gonna pick Next.js. I'm gonna pick type GraphQL. I would like a common, and I would like docz. All right, so we got our mono repo things at the top. If I click on packages, I can see common, server, UI, web. Excellent. All right, so let's just fill stuff in now. So that's what I want my root to be. Did I get rid of templates and the git ignore? Nope. So I want them to be in my GitHub repo. I don't think it violates because Restream is doing service so you can stream a little other ones. Okay, I'll have to look into it. I'll definitely do that then, if it's allowed. So let's start with the front end. So what I think I want to do is I think I want to just go through the process of setting it up, and then when I get to a point where I want to make it specific and not generic, I'll then copy the files into here. All right, so I'm going to pause this project, and I'm going to basically build each one of these. And then before I add specific things to them, I'm going to copy to the templates. It looks like you're working on a CLI tool for building full stack node project. Exactly. It's going to build, it's what, well, the point of this CLI is, this is the gist of it. I want to be able to pick different front ends, back ends, and it's going to generate a monorepo for me. So right now I'm just going to do a single stack, Next.js, use type GraphQL on the back end with Typeform. And then here I'm going to pick any extra packages, so a common one. And then this docz one is going to be like a UI library. I really like the setup. I feel like doing peer within chatting with everyone else. Yeah, I really like it too. I've done Restream and really liked that the internet both chat. Okay, cool. So they like weaves the YouTube and the Twitch chat together. That's kind of interesting. All right, so let's switch over to CodePonder. So I'm going to just check out a new branch. And this branch I'm basically going to call original. And in that branch, I'm just going to store the original, what I did for the 24-hour stream. That way I can like have an artifact of what I built. And then we're going to just basically rip this up right now. So these things I don't care about. Caddy, Docker, at least in this initial one. Add a boilerplate for an ORM as well. Are you talking about for like if you want to add different entities? Because right now, that's basically what I'm gonna set up with Typeform. Are you thinking like, I don't know, something like create entity and then adding like some fields and be like name is a string or something? Do you have a full-time work? Yes, I do right now. Well, I don't have like a full-time job, but I am like full-time freelancing right now. So we have these thingies. I put a ts config here. Okay. I guess I'm gonna need a ts config there too. I'll worry about that later. All right, so we're gonna kill. Are we gonna kill the GraphQL folder? Yeah, we are. So I'm actually thinking right now where I want to store my GraphQL code. I think I just want to store it in the web in a GraphQL. Yeah, I'm fine creating, just having an empty folder called GraphQL for them. I use Ruby on Rails. Yeah. I could definitely see creating something like that if I... So, yeah, it's pretty fast to create the entity, but I could see maybe setting up a CLI of some sort. Definitely, I think Typeform does have migrations. They're a little janky sometimes. Rolling back, I haven't actually tried with it, so I can't say. All right, let's go back to the website. So we can keep init Apollo. You know, I'm having a hard time. I usually start on the server. Let's just start on the server. I like starting there first for initial project. All right, let's kill the README. I should be adding a README to each one of my templates, though. I think. So I'm gonna have to do some kind of templating. And what I mean by that, maybe I just ignore that and I just like add it manually. Nah, I should probably just code it up ahead because this reference assumes we have a package called common. So if I don't add a package.common, I don't want this to be here. UI here. Can use JQ to do editing. How do you see using that for editing what? Are you thinking to come in and edit this? I'm thinking what I might do is like package name or something. Will you be posting this on YouTube after streaming like you did on 24-hour startup? Yes. So we actually won't need code gen for this project because we're going to use type GraphQL. I want to use Redis. Okay, it may be easier to just start this entirely from scratch and then copy and paste stuff from GitHub. I feel like that'll be an easier thing to do. And that way we don't have extra, because I feel like there's going to be too many extra files I'm going to forget about. All right, let's go kill source. The server and web might have different TS configs, so the server might be happy on ESNext, but web. Yep, we're definitely going to have 2 different TS configs. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go to a very early commit when I was setting up the server. I like that the best. All right, so I'm not going to be using code generator for this. We're going to be using Express. I may not be using Yup for this. I think I'm going to try the validation that comes with type GraphQL. And I won't need epoxy or sonar for this because we're using that. Argon I will need. Postgres, reflect metadata, we'll need. Probably won't need Yup. So we want the create typeform connection and create schema. I'm trying to decide if I want to put that into a separate file like I did with this. Let's just call this. I don't think I'm not sure if I'm going to extract it or, you know what, I think I did abstract it later on when I was deploying. So okay, let's move it into a separate file for now. So all this does is grab that. Let's not do that for now. We will need an entity filter. We're actually not going to have a user for this. What am I talking about? We are going to have a user. He's just not going to have a password. All right, let's go to type GraphQL now. go ahead and add it. I skipped over way too much. So I need to set up, I guess we'll set up like just a user one. All right, so we're gonna create modules, user, user resolver.ts. So I think I'm going to connect this to the user entity, and we're going to be using the user entity for both the TypeScript type and for our well, not TypeScript, GraphQL type and our database type. So this is going to return a user or null. Is that really the way to set that up? I actually don't know how to return it. A possible nullable recipe. Do they have an example of that? I know why I can return a field. Why null? Because if I'm fetching the current user, if they're not logged in, it's going to be null. So basically what I want is user or null. I mean, what I can do is I can just create an input type, not input type, an object type. Which I'm going to call me response. There we go. Okay, so the reason I figured that out is because I know the field name. The next one is nullable, so I was like, took a guess there. TypeScript count null by default. Fix me if I'm not right. Null and undefined. So by default, this guy is. I'm telling it I want to return a user. I have to tell it if it could also be undefined, because this is actually going to create the GraphQL schema. So let me show you that. I think we pass in an array. By the way, let me just real quickly say yarn here to install everything and make sure. Resolvers. Why is it not like it? Did I spell nope. Is it okay? Oh wait, might be one problem. There we go. Oh, I thought it was because I wasn't importing it. All right, so I did not pay attention to that. We just imported it from the wrong thing. So let's see if this starts up. Can I find connection default? We have the ORM config up here. Did I mess up the... We have workspaces set to true. So I have some kind of connection problem. Just connect, let's just copy the ORM config. Oh, I remember. Yeah. I'm just gonna rename this. Well, okay. We're just gonna go look at what we did on the master branch. Oh yeah, I forgot that I did this. We're not gonna do quite that. So I think a couple commits before this, I had a little cleaner code. Yeah, we have to have a default one. What we can do is there's something from typeworm. I believe it's... Let's just see what it says. There's one where we can get the options. Get connection options. And we just give it the name of the connection, which is going to be the process.m.nodeinf. So we're going to set the nodeinf to development. It's pretty slow to start up. All right, so we just needed to make this, oops, object type. So this is how we expose fields. So notice how we import object type and field from type GraphQL. So this username I want to be in my GraphQL schema, and in my database I want these three fields. So we'll see what this looks like. So this is what our schema looks like. We have a single query. It's called me, returns a user that has a username. So if I add a field there, we now have refresh, username, and email. So that's how we can expose the different fields. And all right, so I think I'm gonna pause here and continue off tomorrow. And what we'll do is just continue off where I left off, is setting up type GraphQL and this repo, and then set up the other repos, and then we can start actually doing finish the CLI.